And then, what else have we got? Bone butter. For sure got loads of bone butter. What happens if we try to combine different things? Okay, we get the seafood stew with 2 of them, but what about all 3? Steve's bounty. How could I say no? Extra inventory space and probably something that's worth more when we eventually want to sell these or eat them. I'm not sure what the best thing to do with them is. Loads of different recipes we haven't unlocked yet. Fun, fun, fun. All right, so we gotta find a space anomaly and we need to do a frigate mission, and I think this will count for both. So let's again get 2 rocks with 1 bird and see if we can knock these both out. All right, we found our freighter, and yes, it does count as encountering an anomaly. So just showing up at it counts as finding it. And now for the other one, we're just gonna need to land and go through it all. But let's unlock this one first and see what we get. Heck yeah! They give you inventory space right before you're going on to the freighter. That's a really good milestone logic. So if you don't know, there is loads and loads of salvage that you can get on these freighters. And one of the biggest pain in the butts is you don't have access to your regular inventory while you're in there. You can't save your game. You only have the space in your pockets. You can't put things back on your ship unless you actually come all the way back out to your ship. So, you know, you always want to make sure that you go into the freighter missions with as little in your pockets as possible. And now we are going to completely explore and investigate this entire thing. I think in order to actually get the milestone, you only need to progress through the entire freighter, get to all the computers and unlock them. But we are gonna get every scrap of loot that we can out of here, or we're going to refine the nanites out of some of the other special materials that we'll end up getting. Oh gosh. So we end up getting a bunch of tainted metal in these missions now, and those refine into nanites. It's one of the best sources because it's 1 to 2. We want to go ahead and pick up the emergency supplies before you interact with the computer, because at least in the past you always got double resources that way. I still think that that works. We'll see. So salvage likely, as it says, 95% of the interior is still okay. The gravity systems never work every single time. That's why you get this sort of slower walk that they force you into, and you can't jump at all, in addition to not having access to your storage on your ship and things. Plus, it is cold as balls in here, y'all. But we're good because we have the 2 shields to protect us from the cold, so we should be fine with that. And oh, nice. It used to be that it kicked you back out and you had to do the dialogue again if you accepted the supplies in the menu there. But maybe we got like triple supplies now. I don't know if that's true, but that'd be awesome. It does look like we're getting 3 of everything, but I don't know if you're supposed to just get 1 and we got 3 because of that little trick or not. Let me know in the comments if you know. So yeah, here's the little salvage opportunity detected mission on the right there. This is kind of double duty because we're clicking that off of our main campaign requirements as well as the requirements for this expedition. And I am just going to pop around, see money, all sorts of tainted metal. That's the one that refines into the nanites, which we're hoping to get loads and loads of. Plus, as we work our way through here, we got some of the glowy jellyfish green guys. These guys don't really mess with you unless you get too close to them, so I'm not going to attack them. They don't really do any damage. There are other creatures and security systems that randomly can generate. We might run into those later, or we might get super lucky and this one's like easy to clear. One thing you want to remember as well with these tablets, They give you a few nanites, and they give you a little bit of lore, which is interesting. But what we're really hoping for is the security pass that we need for one of the other computers that we're going to find further in. So it's kind of scripted. It's like on the third one or on the fourth one that you open, you get it. Heck yeah. So we found a freighter that gives it to you really early, which is also super, super valuable. You want one that gives you that, a salvage frigate module. All right. So that's going to help us upgrade our frigate when we finally get there. But yeah, you want a freighter that has loads of loot, which this one so far has loads and loads of canisters to open. Not a lot of security measures or aliens to fight past. The best possible option is getting these green jellyfish, I think, if you're going to have something. These guys are pretty, harmless. Neural ducts are also super valuable. Hadal cores refine into nanites. We're going to pop on these heating units as we move around, just to kind of, while we're looting, not lose our shields so fast. But so far, this is shaping up to be a really, really good freighter overall. I'm just going to make sure that I get all of the canisters in this room before we move on. These neural ducts are like really, really, really valuable, I think. Oh, and we get construction blueprints as well. That's right. So as we go around, you can randomly get some construction blueprints for your base, which is pretty cool. You can get all the different artifacts that you find. See, that's the same orange barrel there. Now this door here, I believe, is a dead end. Oh, there's a little alien in a canister. You can see this one got out. We might run into some of those nests later if this is one of those types of freighters. I'll turn the heater unit on so we're not freezing our butts off while we get our... See, 23,000 units. I mean, you know, it's not a whole lot in one canister, but by the end of this, we'll probably get a couple mil. Plus, we'll fill our pockets with resources we can refine or sell. I just love these. And the fact that each one is a little bit different. And if you go through and read all the PDAs, they actually give you some funny stories and stuff sometimes. Ooh, Storm Crystal is just money. Those are really difficult to collect. You have to be on an extreme planet with extreme storms and be fighting your way through an actual active storm to find them. Really great source of resources early on in a fresh playthrough. But see, you can just get them out of a box. You don't have to fight your way through everything. All right, chill, guys. Let's turn on the heaters. I think it would be fun to do a run of like permadeath, and where the only thing you're allowed to do is raid, lost freighters for resources and stuff. And you got to come in here with no oxygen, no shield, no nothing, and you're just scavenging, as you go through. So this is one of the more interesting ones. It's a probe on this quartermaster. Internal body temperature below average, distress level high. Conclusion: expunge. So you sometimes get funny notes from the captain as well. Oh God, I hit my head on one of the jellyfish. All right, let's see what this one says. Yeah, captain's eyes only. Name: Subroka Usava. Specialism: biological intervention. Hyperspace sensitivity 0, subtlety 4%, enthusiasm 88%, company approval rating 78%, predicted remaining lifespan 24.9 years. Addendum: captain's personal notes. The crew believes them cursed. Morale is suffering. So yeah, you can go through and sort of carefully read all of those if you want to, and they all sort of tell a different story. One of the computers will give us sort of a really good log entry from the captain when we get there in a minute. I don't think there's anything else to get in here. Nope. Yeah, we're not going to shoot the unstable canisters just because they might set off the turrets and stuff if there are security systems in here. We don't want to deal with that. This one here, because it's got that purple sign on the top with the 0, that means it's not the way out. This is a dead end, but we still want to see what's in here. So these canisters with the aliens in them, some of the freighters are totally infested with those guys. and it's a real pain in the butt. But so far, we are being really lucky. Descented bottles are actually awesome as well. They are good for upgrading the bars and saloons at your settlements when we finally get there. They're cheap to sell, but I'm going to hold on to that because we got loads of storage on our Corvette. Where's the way out of here? Okay, so it's down this stupid thing in the way. So it's down this hallway here. We should get another door. Yeah, that has a number and an arrow. So yeah, 3 is the way forward. So if you're trying to get through these quickly, skip the ones that have red above the door. And we have the first computer. Nice. This will give us the crew manifest. But right now we're kind of doing a standard search pattern. We're going all the way around from right to left. So I'll get to there in just a second. That's just a dead end. We got canister and some snippets. We're going to see what the snippets are. We don't need to open these anymore, but I just want to see if there's anything interesting. Personal bioscan last detected 11 days ago. Biometric reads indicates consciousness co-opted by external routine. No further life signs. Okay, let's see what we got for the crew manifest. We're not going to turn on the teleporter next to it. Those are only useful if you're going back to your ship because you don't have enough space in your inventory for the stuff that you're picking up. But the crew manifest will basically tell us sort of where people were and what they were doing when everything went wrong on this particular freighter. So commanders and how many people, yeah, 35 professionals, 84 conscripts, 1 partner Gek frozen in stasis, poor guy, 1 guy who's just a trainee, and 1 prisoner in transit. There was 1 guy who was like in stasis. So that guy got screwed. He never even probably woke up. No detected biological traces match crew records. Yeah, so everybody's dead. Or mutated. Where was everybody on the day they disappeared? He's in a redacted area. The captain, the lieutenants in the AI monitoring station, the temporary officers, AI coolant chamber, biosecurity for the 3rd guy. So yeah, they were up to something. They were up to something no good, and it did not go well. Oh my lord, look at this. We've got like a whole freaking, yeah, so I've searched this side, but we've got a whole like locker room full of stuff. And this is their little sleeping area. You could fit 2 or 3 Geks in there. Okay, so that's probably the way forward. Let's just take a peek, see? Yeah, so that's the way forward. 4 with the arrow, 4th chamber. But we're not leaving here without checking these out. All right, some Gek nip. Korvax casing. Those are good for selling, but also good for raising your reputation level with the Korvax, so you can give them away and kind of raise your standing with them. Some projectile ammunitions. So using my scanner will show me not only where, the lootable canisters are, but that little icon on them will disappear once they're looted. See? So you can tell which ones you've actually done and if you've missed anything. So if you're on a scavenge run like we are right now, we are cleaning up. The descented bottles, I know they seem worthless now, but gosh, they're hard to get if you don't have them. And I like to have an S-class saloon at each of my settlements for sure. The Viking dagger is the same as the Corvette's casing, but for the Viking, and you have Gek relics, which you use for the Gek. Another reason why I'm so excited, oh gosh, get out of the way of these freaking aliens, but the reason why I'm so excited about this layout and the type of aliens and stuff, if you take note of the star system that you're in, when you find an awesome freighter that has a good layout and a lot of loot in it, you can use anomaly detectors over and over and over again in that system, and you'll always get the same freighter. It won't always be the exact loot in each thing. You can't be like, oh, that's the canister that had the good thing in it. I'll just go get that one canister. It's still RNG, like random what you get, but it's the number of canisters that you get. The type of alien, which is kind of harmless on this one. The layout that gives you the identification card that you need really early on. Like, all these things are really, really good. And if we get to the very end, and we can fabricate like a good module for our Corvette or a good upgrade for our frigate when we finally get to that point. You can keep going back. Like if you get an S-class upgrade, the type of upgrade will change, but you'll always get an S-class, you know? And this thing is just weighted down with tainted metal, which for me is like the best resource because it refines directly into nanites really easy and fast. It's not one of the resources that takes forever, like freaking living slime or something where you're waiting for 15 or 20 minutes for anything useful. All right, so that room was highly profitable. Let's see what we find in here. And it's a hole to jump in. Sure, let's do this. Oh my gosh, I always try not to touch the ladder, and I have never once successfully dropped down one of those without starting to climb up the ladder. Oops, I didn't mean to open this, but let's look at it anyway. Event records. Unspecified door error in cargo security room. Maintenance security notified. Lock malfunction in shuttle hangar. Bridge alerted. Nanite cloud in cargo security room. Pressure compartment vented into space. Oh no, all the nanites. Maybe that's why all of these canisters have tainted metal in them, because the nanites, they're actually quite a lot smarter. They're like little microcomputers. Nice. The next computer that we need to search is up there too. But they're actually sort of like a swarm, like an intelligence. You find out more and more about them as you go through the main campaign. And so maybe they were smart enough to realize they were going to be vented, and they infested all the metal. That's my mind lore for this one. AI internal memory decryption. Probe report for Petty Officer Rugify. Ration consumption average. Uniqueness of appearance high. Oxygen use below average. More testing required. Yeah, why isn't this dude breathing? That is why I would be concerned too. If he doesn't use oxygen, there's a problem there. All right, we got a few more canisters to search before we can get over to the computer. Units. Storm crystals. I mean, so it's like units in different packages. Storm crystals are just units. Neural ducts are just units. All right, we got everything in here. Let's check out the security mainframe. So this is the one that you need that ID card for that we got in our first PDA. So it's going to say that it needs the captain. We're going to say the captain is dead. He's not living no more. So it accepts that we have said that the captain's dead. It's already done the bioscan previously, so it knows no one's... Uh-oh. We're going to get hit by one of these guys. I can't move, so... Sorry, buddy. That's your fault. So we log in using the credentials that we got. The temporary officer Onbrigger log will record you as temporary commander. And this is the last significant entry of the actual captain. On shore leave, the whole crew went swimming in the acid sea of Hatrix. We have become so much more. We see with so many eyes, so many hearts. I always loved the water. Beyond the end of all things, there is glass. Even a child knows this. Mine did. They became a priest. They grew to be beloved to the Atlas, recruiting followers from Valeron to Lost Alaris. Time has taught me this. There is always a way. I will find him. I dreamt of water. It is how it begins. It is how it always begins. Do you still believe in the light of the infinite? Do you still believe there is any saving you? There are 16 minutes till I die. 16 minutes. I will find my child. I will find peace. So, they're all something interesting like that. There's a lot of different ones. They give you loads of pieces of lore. I love them. We'll definitely be reading them in full every time we do a freighter run, even if I skip some of the PDA entries that aren't as funny or interesting. This one I'm kind of intending on doing unedited, like the full run through, so that you guys see the whole crawl. Yep, this one's a dead end, but we're going to check it out anyway, because sometimes there's especially good loot down in these little dead end areas. Ooh, this guy had a fancy, yeah, this is like, he had a desk and a heater and 2 beds. Monitoring maintenance log accessed. Event record follows. Ship AI fault in fuel storage tank 4. System rebooted. High-level security pass used in records room. Repair drones deployed. Redacted containment failure in main engineering. Outcome internal alert level raised. Okay, this is like the status report is things we're sliding into chaos on this freighter. The guys in here like, what the heck is going on? And those other guys who were in the redacted areas or the AI monitoring stations and stuff, they were clearly the ones that were trying to hijack the ship. All right, so where are we going now? That corner. Quick scan just to double check we didn't miss anything on the way. And we're good to go. Section 5. Here we go. What have you got? Still none of the nasty aliens. Turn on the heating unit. Couple of scavenge. Hypnotic eye. Alright. For the hypnotic eyes, you normally have to kill like an abyssal horror down at the bottom of an ocean. So again, it's a resource that's kind of rare, that it's nice to just throw into your inventory because eventually you're going to need one for something. I think there's some things you can do with cooking the hypnotic eyes as well. Now, what have we got on this log? Personal data record access for Technigek Taslagvago, medical data stamp, auto transcribing audio. Okay, so this is his audio message. Keeps glitching out, showing places that aren't there. Barricades inside the... Can't get out. We can't get... Okay. Yeah. Creepy, creepy. So, hidden door. It is kind of odd that the whole crew would have to go through that tiny little gap there to access this area. So maybe the nanites like infested the ship after they infested the metal, and they could actually move the parts around. Whoops, I spun the chair instead of opening it. Oh, Nip Nip Nuds! Yes! The Nip Nip journey begins, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, that is a game change. We can now sell Nip Nips everywhere and make a bunch of money. Some relatticed art crystals and glistening eggs that containment was broken on. Somehow, yeah, it's referencing, so see here, yeah, we got more of those containers. So this one got out. You'll usually find those around. Oh, cool. We can see straight out of the ship. But usually find these guys on the ships that are infested, but this one kind of has the canisters, which gives you the living slime, which you can refine into nanites, but it takes forever and it's really not worth it. But, yeah, so we get the resources from them without having to deal with fighting them, which is, again, a real reason to remember where this particular freighter is and come back here and do some more. Good luck with that. I'm not stopping to write it down now, and if somebody else could take note and put it in the comments, that would be awesome. Because the other thing is, with this run, I think rather than farming the same one over and over again, it's going to be fun to see new ones and, you know, different. Because one thing too is the captain's log is always the same when you do the same one over and over again. So now we get to fabricate items. Hell yeah! Let's see how good this thing really is. So we have some different choices, but I'm definitely going to do the Corvette modules for now. I mean, that's what this run is all about. But you could get a new piece of technology, or you could fabricate something, you know, for your freighters. But we don't even have a freighter yet, so it's an easy choice. So it's compressing it down into a tiny little portable package that I can put in my pocket, and it's a Thunderbird Heavy. So that's a pretty good upgrade. The Thunderbird Heavy booster, some firebox owling, anything else, 2 of those, and that's it. So, okay, well, reward. I wouldn't say that that was amazing, but it was pretty good. And we now completed another check mark. So we get the personal force field, which I actually don't care for anyway. And now we turn on this transporter, which takes us all the way back to the beginning. And we can get out of here. Nice run. I feel weighted down with nanites and cash. That was actually really, really lucky. Look at how good Judy looks over there. It's like a flying city. It's like an orbital defense platform. That's what we're going around in. I freaking love it.